Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Today we are going to be making another one of the recent molds that I got from Temu. This is an angel mold. After my father passed away, I was on the hunt for a beautiful angel casting of some sort because of his being and how he had said before he passed away how he believed in God and angels. And so after he passed away, I went on a hunt and I finally found myself a beautiful angel statue, which is outside in the summertime and inside in the wintertime. I have a bit of an affinity for them now, and this was one I happened to see on Temu, and I thought I want to see what it looks like. I've gotten a few angel molds now, and I love them all. They speak to me, and they're so, well, they just speak to me. And I think angels are really cool things to believe in. We're going to do this one in ceramic resin first. I think this is going to be one of those molds where I want to be able to do it in gold. And I would love if some of the companies out there that make the ceramic resin would actually come out with a pigment that was gold or silver and even copper that we could put in the ceramic resin to give that effect of a metallic look. And you know, we're really limited on what we can do with the ceramic resin as far as what you can put in it that will actually work with it. I know people have put the foils in. I've tried occasionally to use mica powders and it doesn't really pick those up very well. I think it'd be really cool if they came out with metallic colorants for it. What I'm going to do today, because I'm wanting to go towards that color, I'm not sure how well I'm going to pull it out. Anyways, I'm going to use Crushed Curry by Stampin' Ink and see what we can get. Again, this may be too dark of a color. It may not give me that gold look or feel. I just thought, let's do it anyways and see what we end up with. I am finding that the math I'm doing with taking whatever the amount of water is that fills these up and dividing it by 0.65 is actually giving me close to the amount of product I need to make these pieces. Now, again, I suggest having something nearby, and I have one of my, this is really bad because I knew I had to have something nearby, and I was thinking of my pumpkins, but you know what, we'll do a bat if we have, I know angels and pumpkin bats don't really go together, but that's okay. We're going to go with the flow of it anyway. So we're going to do this. We're going to see how it turns out. As usual, I, want to look at some of my pieces that I've done, do some decoupage on them potentially. I was looking at my one bowl that I have, the big bowl, and thought, it would be really cool for me to do that in ceramic resin. And we might do that in one of the upcoming videos. Just because I think it lends itself that you could do so much with it if you just open your imagination and just thought, oh, what can I do with this? Can I put something on it? Do I just paint it one color? Do I decoupage it? Do I use different mediums on it? So I should really take that one out and give some thought to it and do it in an upcoming video for you, just to see what we can do to liven it up by using the ceramic resin. The other thing I want to mention, I did get more resin. It has arrived. And so the company that I get from Magic Resin, I'm just going to put this here, actually has one of the lids now being black and the other is white, which I do like. I will still mark my bottles so that I know that this is B and the other A, because I do like having the bottles marked. But I did like the idea that they had actually put different colored caps on the top of the bottles. I think that'll be handy. And as long as you remember that, and I'll put A on the top of the white bottle, but it's at least another indicator of what color is what. I had really, really hoped that the cups that they sent with it this time weren't the same as all the others I've got, but they are. So I think I might reach out to the company and just see if they can either come up with different containers to mix in, or if they could also maybe just come out with a package that just has the resin in it, because every time I order, I'm trying to see, no, it's not, I get 2 cups I get stir sticks, which I can use. I get gloves, and I also get a set of 5 mica powders. And I probably am getting close to having 10 of packages of those 5 mica powders, which I keep thinking I have way more mica powders than I know what to do with. And now all of a sudden I've got another 5. So I might reach out to the company and just see if there's something they can do. Oh, so enough talking. Let's get to mixing. And we'll see what this colorant does and how it may or may not work out. Like I say, I think it'd be, and I may have mentioned this before, but I think it'd be really cool if they could come out with metallic, somehow, product that could be mixed in with this. And if anyone's found something or using something that will actually mix in this with the ceramic resin, I haven't checked Temu. I know you can get a cement, I'll say a cement powder that comes in different colors. I've considered those in the past, and maybe I need to relook at that and see if I can't even just get one metallic color to mix in. I just think it would be cool to be able to do that. And I know mixing mica powders in, it shifts the color a little bit, but not near enough to make it the way I would like it to be. And maybe it's not possible, and I'll have to just, if I want that sparkly gold, is just to do it with resin. So let's do this and see what we end up with for a colorant. And I'll just put 1 drop at a time because I really don't want to end up with something too something or other. I just like a gold, but I'm not sure we're going to get it. So that's with 1 drop in it. And I know in the past I've put alcohol inks in this product. And I haven't done that for a really long time. But I know you have to be careful with the product you put in because of how it will react to, it's like what you put in resin, right? Depending on what you put in, it can have a not so useful reaction to it. But we'll see. And I've got another Temu order coming to me, more for the card making side of the world than for resin. I think I have a couple little things coming in from a resin perspective, but not much. So I might share that with you in my next video. I'm just going to see if I can swirl this through a bit. It's dark. It's not really going to the gold color. All right, we'll just leave it like that. At least we can get a little bit of a design in there. So that's what we're looking for, or not looking for, looking at. And we'll pounce this around a little bit just to, because it's got quite a few divots in it and little things here and there. So we'll see what we can do. All right, to mix it up and around. This may be one of those that, because there's so many indentations in it, that we, with some air bubbles in it. Hopefully not a lot. It almost looks like an egg color now. Egg yolk. I do like the idea of doing that really big bowl and seeing it where we land. I don't know if that's something on my mold. I don't think this is one of the better molds that I've gotten. So yeah, we're just, wow. All right. Okay, so I've got some left in the bottom. We'll add a little bit of water and then I'll leave that alone and we'll just put the rest in the pumpkin. I should have gone around with this little spatula, and I'm going to add just a little bit more of my ceramic resin because that's a little wet. So we'll put a little bit more in that and should be enough. I do worry a little bit when I don't get it all mixed up how it's going to affect the piece that I've done. Hopefully that'll be enough for that. And I'm not sure I have enough to fill up my pumpkin guy, but maybe. Might be almost right full. There we go. Alrighty, so what we'll do is we'll let this sit. I don't think this probably needs to sit for more than an hour because it doesn't have any really intricate pieces in it, and we all know what I'm like when it comes to the intricate pieces. I like to leave them for a little bit longer just so I don't run the risk of breaking anything. I think we'll be okay taking this out an hour. So we'll just let that sit and set. And the same with the pumpkin bat. We will come back in an hour and we will see how our angel looks. See you in a bit. All right, before we get into taking these pieces out, I just wanted to show you, this is the pack of mica powders that I get with my magic resin when I order it. I just thought I'd show you. And like I say, I have multiples. If I don't have 10 of each color, I'd be surprised. Anyways, these are the colors that come with it. And as I say, when I order these large containers, I get these. And they show this on the Amazon website. So those are the colors that I get every time when I'm ordering. And as I say, I have so many of them. And I have too many colors all told. So I really need to figure out what I could use these for or start using them in projects. But anyways, I just wanted to show that to you. We'll take our pumpkin bat out first. Let's see how it turned out. I have to admit, I wasn't really sure. And I said that I think in the last video, I wasn't sure I was going to like these molds, but they're really kind of cool. And I like the idea of putting a color shift on these. I showed you in the one video where I used the orange color shift that I had gotten on the pieces that I had done in orange. And they just give it a little bit more flair, if that's what you're looking for. And I don't think I had done it on them. They're in the other room, so I can't say for sure. But I don't think I filled in the eyes and whatnot on these, but I'm not 100% sure. But I have to admit, I think these are really cute. I think they're cool. Anyway, so that's that. So let's see how this piece, so obviously things aren't golden, but we'll see how things dry up over the next 24 hours. I will keep you, I won't just, say, well, here we go and we're done. What I'll do is we will let it sit for the 24 hours and then I'll bring you back so we can see, even the next 12 hours will probably give us a good indication of what we're going to be looking at. So close that up. I like I said, whether you do this in resin or whether you use your mix to mold ceramic resin, whatever, I think this is going to be another one of those really. Now we have some lines in here, so not the best mold, but again, it's things like that actually make it an interesting mold in that it makes it look antique-ish. You can play a bit more with it. I just want to put it on because it's warm and I don't want to get any marks on it. I mean, you could put, like if you had a marker, you could draw those lines right in, like not even worry about taking them out. So let's see how we did. So not bad. I mean, if you did it with the right colors and marking it up, you could really have I think a lot of fun with a piece like this. And as I say, I'm a big fan of angels, and that's why I bought it. And it's got a fairly deep inside to it. I'm wondering if I can give you anything to sort of compare. So this is a 100 ml container. So that fits in there nicely. So if you want, now it's not really flat in the bottom, so you might have to just sort of deal with it tilting a little bit. But you could put something like that on, not specifically this, but just to give you an idea, in the center, and then put flowers inside of that. Or like usual, you can put something else inside of it. It doesn't have to be flowers. You could fill it up with colored something or other, or candy. Yeah, whatever you have. So I think we did fairly well with, you know, yes, there are air bubbles. I don't think I've ever avoided them at all. But again, I think this would be a really, really nice piece. We could do the wings in a gold. And I have gold of the PBO over there. You could just use a gold paint. And then just doing something fancy with this to sort of combine it. But I think that's really pretty. I think that turned out nicely. And I probably would highlight the lines in it. I'm not really bothered by that. I'd highlight them. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll let this sit. I'll go find something for this to sit on. I've got a couple of pieces like this over in my other room where I've been supporting them up just so that they have something to sit up and we can get the air under it. I'll go get those. We'll put it up and then we'll come back. Well, within, let's see, I'm thinking of my time right now. It'll probably be in the next 12 to 15 hours. We'll come back and we'll see how it looks. And what I might do too is just add a little bit more to this video is see what colors I've got that we can, you know, make the angel look. Like maybe give it gold wings, or we could even, I've got a parchment paint over there. I think it's by Artist Loft. So we could put some of that in there. I don't know. I'll have a look and see what other colors I've got to see about doing a bit of a color shift and whatnot on this. And yeah, see if we can't decorate it up a little bit. I'm not sure how much detail I would go into the body of it, but I would definitely like to make the wings stand out a little bit. Anyway, okay, we'll come back in 12 to 15 hours. We'll have a look and see how much more color came into that. And we might even decorate up that little pumpkin bat a little bit so we can odd the two combination, but it's all good. We'll come back. We'll see how this looks 12 to 15 hours. All right, we are back. It isn't 24 hours. It's been 16 hours since we did this piece. And again, I've got all kinds of stuff on my desktop here. I wanted to go over a couple of things before we get to that piece here, just as some additional information if you want, or what I've done. Here is the pumpkin that I had made. I took one of my, what markers were they? Posco pen? Is that what I used on this? I think I used one of my Posco pens on here, just to highlight the lines or the grooves in the pumpkin. And I also used one on the leaf just to give it some more definition. So yes, you know it's a leaf, just thought it might add to it a little bit. And then again with the orange going down, it's a lighter orange, but then that stands out. I had one of my metallic markers, but I really didn't think it was going to do it justice as far as highlighting that for me. And that's why I went with a non-metallic lighter orange color just to highlight it. And you could do other colors if you wanted. I'm thinking you might be able to pull a gold off on this. I'm not sure. And the other thing you might want to try sometime, and I haven't really done it myself, is to do a color and then try another color over top. I would do that maybe on paper instead of right on your initial piece. I have done it sometimes, but I've done it on pieces I don't care about. But that would be an option, is do a color and then see if you put another color over, how it would highlight it, if it would. Because it doesn't always work out. But I wanted to show that to you so you could see what I had done. Now, the other thing I want to bring your attention to, and this is totally, when it comes to shipping our ceramic resin pieces, I did a piece for a friend of mine. I did the phone stand. I had issues with it. As much as this is relatively solid material, it can break. And when you have indents or holes in it like this one does, it is more susceptible to breaking. I had to make 3 of these phone stands before my friend finally got one that did not break or was not broken during transportation. So when I made the final piece for her, I actually used some fiberglass powder. I want to say powder, but that's not it. A fiberglass filler, and I mixed it into the mix to mold, and then I poured it. It did give me some sort of little black flecks in it, but nothing too major, and because of the design I put on it. The other thing I did with the final piece that did get to her and is in one piece, thank God, I put this between styrofoam just to keep it secure, and that actually helped. I sealed it up. It took her 20 minutes to get the piece apart. Having said that, I don't care because it got to her in one piece. So originally when I had done this, I had wrapped this piece in the bubble wrap, and I wrapped the smaller piece in bubble wrap and then put one on top of the other. Somehow I think it wasn't secure enough or sturdy enough, and it broke the small piece. And the second piece I did, I feel that was my fault, because when I was actually stamping the piece, and this is something you have to be careful too, if you're stamping on this, is one, make darn sure you're on a flat surface, and two, you want to make sure that your piece is as flat as possible, because I was stamping it and all of a sudden I heard a crack, but it didn't break. But when she got it, it actually broke up here somewhere. All right, so you have to be really careful with this stuff. It's sturdy, yes, but take precautions with it. And if you're mailing a piece like this out, when I did it the second time, I used no bubble wrap. All I did was put a piece of wax paper around each piece, and then I put the smaller piece in the center here, and then I taped it down. Like when I put the tape, it was on the wax paper. And I used the styrofoam between, like on the top and the bottom, and that acted as an additional buffer. It didn't bend. There was no way, unless they dropped the box when it was in the mail, that it should break, because it had, complete secure on it, right? So I just wanted to mention that with you. If you're mailing something like this, because of its thinness, I highly recommend using styrofoam to put on the top and bottom and seal and secure really well with tape. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you had any brilliant ideas, which I love the piece. But by the time I got to the third one, I was just like, is this worth it to me anymore? But she's got it now. It's in one piece. That's all I care about. Let's go back to our pieces. Okay, so this was the pumpkin bat that I had done using the color shift. I don't have a gold color shift, and I don't know if Michael's has one. They might. I have here a black flash color shift, and I haven't used. I'm bad for buying colors and then not using them. I had to throw out some of my product because it had just dried right up. So I know there's some people out there that are doing this stuff on a regular basis and using it, and yeah, all's great and fine. Yeah, I need to stop buying stuff. I really, really do, especially stuff that's going to dry out. So I want to get, because I thought what I would do is we do the color shift on this. I'm not sure this would be the right color on this. Now, again, depending on what you're wanting to do. So we had the yellow come up quite a bit. I mean, it's changed color from when you saw it last, for sure. And I had gotten out a blue color that I thought I might use on this, but I've decided not to. And we have our pumpkin. Now, the other things I brought out are an iridescent top coat, which is a gold. So let's see. I don't know if that's going to help you to really see. No, that's going the wrong way. Okay. I also got my Solar Paste Golden Hour. All right. And I have a silk screen of gold. Of the, how many did I, well, I've got my blue over here. It's kind of still good, but again, this stuff dries out. They recommend, I know Tim Holtz, when he does his, he recommends putting a piece of saran wrap on, like over top, and then putting your lid cover on to keep the moisture inside. Anyways, this is still good. So I was thinking of actually using this on our angel wings. but I thought what we could do is try a little bit of this on our pumpkin bat. Chrome marker used on this as well. I don't have my chrome markers out for this one, so I'm not going to concern myself with that. And maybe what we could do... All right, so this is, you know what, I'm not going to bother showing you what that looks like on there. All right. Get my brush a little. All right, let's see what this will do. Yeah, I'll see if I can, if they've got a gold in the, what's it called, color shift. So this is going to pretty much take over, isn't it? With the coloring of the yellow. And I don't know, let's just, I'm going to try something. I don't know if this is going to work. So, but I'm just wondering if we get this a little damp, if we can just sort of get this wet again, and then without taking off too much, when your stuff sticks together, and then just kind of wipe it down. I don't know if that's going to really do much of anything. Yeah, it didn't really do. So this is really a dark color that really fills in that yellow. So you'll have to try, like if you're doing, because you can make so many out of that mold, you may want to just sort of play around a little bit with the, the odd piece to see what you end up getting. Now what I want to do, since I've got it here, so that's really dark. It's pretty, but it definitely, took away from the color if you want to keep the yellow. I'll just play with this one because I can. I just wonder about taking a little bit of this gold. And then if we just go over top of this. And we don't need it to be perfect, do we? Again, I'm learning to just do my best. So I don't know. I think that helps a little bit. It sort of takes away from the harshness of that. But again, you got to decide. Is that what you want? You want it harsh. So what we'll do is I'll take that off. Let that sit for a moment. Now, I don't think I want to try... I was thinking about this for this. Just give me a second. Just kind of play back and forth a little bit. Now you may be wondering why I take my lids off. It's just because for me it's easier just to take a limited amount out of the cap. If I were doing, a fairly big piece, then I would just put some out on a dish or something like that. I have around here those little round paint palettes that have the indents in them so you can put multiple colors out. But for this, it's just easier for me to take it out of the lid. So I just thought I'd put a little bit down here on the underside because then you can make that a little darker and give it some dimension. And I want you to know that, some of the stuff I share with you, it's because I'm learning it from other videos I'm watching. Simon Hurley is one of those individuals who does a really good job of blending colors and giving you the shadows and whatnot. I haven't done a lot of his different techniques, but he's got a lot of good ideas on, coloring and whatnot, which I do enjoy watching him once in a while. And his main thing is cards and stamps and whatnot. And he does a really good job. So you might want to check him out if, it's into cards. But even still, Yeah, he does cards, but at the same time, I think like you can apply those techniques to things like this. So I don't discount, like when I see somebody doing something on a card, I don't discount, you know, yeah, it may be something I can do on something like this. So you might want to tape up. I've kind of gotten some color going where I don't want it to go. So you may want to tape if that's important to you. Yeah, so we have a, you know, so the darker on the bottom, and then we go to lighter from a shading perspective. You know, this is going to drive me nuts. I'll have to do this off camera, but just to give you an idea, right? That's all I'm trying to do here. Yeah, so we've got that. I don't think I am going to use, I don't think I want to use any of this on here. I'm hesitating. So I think if I'm hesitating, I might, yeah. Am I going to be daring on camera, or am I going to be daring off camera so you can't see if it turns out badly? But again, we could, you know, you could use this color as your base on the wings and then put this on top of it just to, you know, lighten it down, or very sparingly sort of put this on and then have this be more prominent on the top. Now, maybe what we'll do, we have two of them, right? One on each side. So let's get him out of the way and that out of the way. Well, let's just see. I can make another one, right? Let's see what we can do. So that's why I've got the gloves on for this. I don't want this on my hands. Now this is setting up some. Like this is, it's not as nice as I'd like it to be. Like it's, what's it like? It's like plasticine now, and it shouldn't be. Like if you'll notice, see how that's just not, yeah, it's not as good as it needs to be. So be aware of that with your silk screen stuff. I could maybe take some water and try and thin it down. But yeah, this isn't, I may have to get rid of this too. And I'm going to make a recommendation that if you go into Michael's and they've got paint and whatnot on sale, like in their clearance, be careful when you pick that up, because I've picked some of those paints up and gotten them home. And because they've been sitting on the shelf for so long, as much as it's a deal, unless you've got the patience to mix it up and work it, it may not be worth buying. I've found that out a couple of times. I've bought stuff and gotten it home, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't picked that up. And you can't take that stuff back. I mean, once you have it, you have it. So I guess the only thing I could ask is if you've found that, if you've got any really unique techniques that will, you know, work on, you know, making it good again. Okay, so that's what we've got using this. And we'll do the other wing. Get a little bit more. I can get this more, you know, closer to the edges. But so that's what we've got right now. So we'll just do that one side. Let's see if I can, yeah. I can maybe see about adding some water, and if that will make my life better. I'll just put that in my water. All right. So let's put the lid on that. Yeah, so I don't know if I can add water to that or not. I should look up on YouTube and see if I can do something. Because if it's water-based, I might be okay. Now what we'll do is we'll try some of this solar paste just on the angel body and see how that comes out. I don't really want a lot of this on here at one time. I probably could use my brush to do this too. They're using pastes and whatnot, and their hands and whatnot, or their fingers are so covered, and I just don't like the cleaning up process after. That's why I do this. So let's get some of this, and we can get it in and around where it needs to be. And I guess the nice thing about this having the angel on both sides, like you can do two different colors, right? Like you don't have to do them the same, which adds to the originality of it. But again, you do you. I have a, who's it by? I have another wax over there. I thought about my waxes too. I'm putting it on. So that gives her a bit of a glow now. All right. I have no idea what I want to do with these designs over here. And I really should put that, or is it the seal stuff? What's it called? Cling and seal? You could use that too. Maybe that's what he was using. Anyways, just as an FYI for these to keep them from drying out much quicker. I've had to throw some of the Ranger stuff out too because I've unfortunately, yeah. Let things go too long. Okay, let's do this. Let's just get brave, eh? So I'm just going to try and scatter this on. And again, it's like, what's the effect? I think that's the first thing we need to figure out when we're doing this is what's the effect we're going for. And sometimes a mistake can be the best effect we get. Okay, just put a bit more of this, and then I want to take and I got a little too much up here right at the beginning, and let's see if we just add a little bit of water to that, if I can thin it out without making a mess. Yeah, still it's too much. Anyways, we won't fret about that. So that's what we look like right now. And then what I'm going to do, I have to get better at sort of washing color on, not getting it too heavy. That's a practice thing though. Yeah, not fussy on it. Let's do, I just want to do, you know what, I want to do the other sides to see what this might look like if we do both sides, if it'll make a difference in my world. It's hard to, like, you'll be able to see it, so let's do both sides. And I don't know what would be the difference if I did this stuff first and then the darker color, if it would make... I think the darker color is going to overpower things though. So we won't do that. Again, that's... You're going to have to play with it. And we'll see if we can't feather this side better. It's good. a really light, instead of sort of starting, all I'm doing is sort of brushing it across. So I don't get too thick in places, or as thick. I mean, over here, I got really thick. And I guess the other thing you could do is sort of then make it thick in a few little places so that it looks like that was done intentionally. And I think what some people do too when they're doing their painting is if they use one of those little dishes is to mix a little bit of water so it's not as thick as what this is. Hard to say. If I'm trying to get a little bit on it without getting too much on it. Okay, so that's what we've got. And then if you totally don't like it, depending on what you've got for a color, you could try and cover it up, like put white over top of it, or like a gesso, something that will cover up the first color, and then try again. Okay, so that's, let's see, well, let's just show you both sides. Can you see? You can't really see them, like when it's like that, you just get a bit of each side. Hard to say. I'm not really sure which I like. And then let's go back to this side. Like, I think this is the better idea, doing it like a gold color. But again, as I keep saying, it all depends too on what's the effect you're going for. Are you wanting it to be gothic? Or are you wanting it to be more, I'll say, heavenly? Is that what, is that what you're going for? So I think that, comes down to what's your style, and, or if your audience, if you're wanting to sell it, what's your audience going to want? But there are a lot of people out there that sort of have that Halloween gothic going on in their lives. So, hey, who's to say? All right, so I'll have to figure that out. But I thought I would go through a couple of things with you, just because I normally don't. And it may inspire you or give you some ideas. So this was the other silkscreen stencil. And this one I'd gotten on sale. It was a clearance item. So, yeah, I mean, it's the same way. This stuff shouldn't be this thick. And I worked at this. I didn't put anything into it. And I'd have to see what if it tells me. To work through silk screens for fine details. Like, there's no way I think I could. Now you can clean it with soap and water, bit of this, and put it in a little container and mix it up and try and, make it so I could use it on a silk screen. I wouldn't want to do too much water with it, depending on how much, but I mean, maybe that's an option for me, just to kind of get it so it's usable. But there were a couple others that they were just, I wouldn't even bother. I wasn't even going to bother with them. I don't know if I want to put this on there. Let's just put a little bit on the back of this guy and see what it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, and this might be something, if you're going to use something like that, it might be something that you want to seal these first and then go over top of it with, instead of just putting it straight on. because that is sort of going into it and it's making it more challenging to get it into the piece. So it might be worthwhile to put a sealer on those and then, or something at least to get in so that you can more easily apply what you're putting onto it. But so that is it for this video. That's all I've got for you. I do think it's a really pretty piece. And like I said, I don't mind these grooves in here. I think it adds. And again, depending on how you're going to decorate it, you could highlight those with either a metallic pen, chrome marker, just a regular paint would work. It is going to all be up to you what you do, but I like offering you some suggestions, and who knows what you're going to take away from that and what unique idea you're going to come up with that is just going to bring it to life in the perfect way. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching another one of my videos. I know I'm sort of, missing Thursdays every once in a while, and I'm okay with that, and I hope you're okay with that. Life does get in the way, and so do other projects I've got going on. But for everybody who shows up to watch my videos, and for those of you who comment, thank you so much, because it really does mean a lot to me. And I do my best to answer your questions. And yeah, so again, thank you for showing up, watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Be creative, take care, and bye for now.